Well, equal marriage would mean to me that a same-sex couple should be allowed the same rights and to make the same commitment publicly and to friends and family that I had the choice to do.
I just feel like not allowing somebody rights that the majority have is like government-sanctioned discrimination, you know. So it does create a precedent when you're less equal than somebody else.
Everyone should be afforded the same rights, the same freedoms and the same protections in the eyes of the law. To live in a country that calls itself a democracy and by principle we're denying people the foundations of democracy, you know, we should be free, we should be equal.
Because at the moment gender recognition is contingent on somebody being single, so a trans person being single, and that's because the state is so afraid that if they legally recognize a trans person who's in a marriage, that they'll be recognizing de facto same-sex marriages. But what they fail to see is that those marriages already exist. People are already in same-sex marriages. It's just that the state won't legally recognize them as such.
I want my sister to be able to get married. I want her to have the same rights as me. If I have a gay child, I want them to be able to get married, and I just want everyone to live happily ever after and just be equal.
Because it's enshrined in law that we're not accepted this civil partnership. There's not civil marriage. We are essentially second-class citizens. We don't have all the same rights.
I feel very grieved at the moment that my gay son wouldn't be able to marry somebody that he has fallen in love with and wants to share time with.
It just brings me back to being a teenager again and being so fearful that people will find out, because it's such an alien concept that you could be this way and be happy.
I actually didn't know what was wrong with me. Like, I actually thought I needed to go to the hospital or something. It was like really stupid.
I have a sibling who's gay, and when he came out it was very difficult, but that difficulty was caused by the social stigma. That difficulty was caused by the fears that my parents would have for him going forward in his life. Because we don't afford same-sex people the same rights in the law, that's what causes the stigma. The Constitution is saying to those people, you're not worth the same rights.
It's kind of terrifying, given the record we have on mental health in this country as well, how disproportionately represented LGBT youth are. It's actually costing lives. And if you look at how marriage relates to that, it's a very simple way to say that you're equal.
It's almost like you're doing something wrong, so you can't have what we have. So that's how I see it. And like, if I was gay myself, it would be heartbreaking not to be able to get married, because when you're growing up, whether you're gay or straight, you do always think of the end game, that you're going to get married, you're going to have kids.
Like, it is a worry, like when you have a gay kid, you know that that kid doesn't have the same rights as everyone else. They might face like discrimination or violence, because if you live in a society where you are telling people that gay people are different from everyone else, you are justifying that person discriminating against someone in the future, or God forbid violently attacking someone in the future, because if you put someone on a lower footing than everyone else, they're not going to get the same respect as everyone else.
I'd like them to have the protection and the rights that married people have today. I mean, it shouldn't be discriminatory against or hurt in any way whatsoever because he's gay.
As LGBT people, we get messages from mainstream media all the time about why our relationships don't matter, or why our identities aren't right, or aren't good enough, or aren't legally recognized. And I think that sends, you know, very negative messages to people, and it has an impact on people's self-esteem, on their mental health, and we need to change that.
So if I'm making a basis on someone's sexuality, on that they are not equal, or they should be treated differently, that in itself is homophobia.
And I'm a Christian. I believe, though, that it shouldn't be a religious decision. It should be like the law should decide it, and religion shouldn't be a part of it. And maybe there's going to be some people that don't agree with it, fine, but don't create the resistance for people that just want to be happy and with the people they love.
There's a million bad things going on in the world, and love is an issue that we're, you know, trying to deal with. It's ridiculous.
I'm really lucky that I grew up in a generation where people like Catherine Zappone and David Norris have gone before me and sacrificed a lot more than I will ever have to sacrifice so that I can live my life freely.
Everyone who supports it, gay, straight or otherwise, needs to get their voice out there.
Unless you're equal with everybody else in the country, you'll never have enough rights. So vote marriage in.
People need to vote. People need to get their family to vote, their friends to vote. If you can, vote twice, 3 times.